All right, here we go. I'll let this one loose. Yeah, felt pretty good.
106.
106?
106.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I need more club head speed, and perhaps you do too. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Stripe Show with Travis Fulton. And today, I'm going to take you to one of the leaders in club head speed creation, Super Speed Golf. Plus, I'm going to talk to you about attack angle and much more coming up on the Stripe Show. Let's do one more here before we get started. I got more than 106. I can't show up with that.
105.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Stripe Show. I'm your host, Travis Fulton. Hope you had a terrific Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to our armed forces and your families. We appreciate what you do for the United States of America and all of us. We got a big show coming up this week here on the Stripe Show. But before we get to that, how about Justin Rose? Good grief. I mean, Justin Rose and Brooks Koepka made it look just a little bit too easy there in Fort Worth on Sunday. Justin Rose, a ball striking display. We know what he can do with his full swing, driver, irons, wedges, but how about his putter? Quietly, he's put together his best season as far as strokes gained putting. I believe he's right around 15th. I like Justin Rose going in to the U.S. Open. This week on the Stripe Show, perhaps we can learn a little bit from Justin Rose, particularly with the driver. We're going to talk about the driver a lot today on the Stripe Show. I'm going to show you how to get more club head speed. We're going to give a visit to our friends at Super Speed Golf. They're doing a terrific job on training club head speed with the driver. I'm going to go through it, try to pick up some more speed, and I think you're going to really enjoy that. Secondly, we're going to talk about attack angle and how this driver head is moving relative to the ground. How do we manage attack angle and for some of you get you hitting just a little bit more up on it? So I can't wait to get to all of that and your swings and much more here on the Stripe Show. So let's get it started. Our first show us your swing comes from Scott. All right, hey Scott, Travis here. Thanks for the video. Read your notes and you want to take a divot more past the golf ball, and I think I can help you with that. I want to show you two things here from the target line view. The first thing here, this is just a reference point, kind of where the shaft starts, and you can see how that club head, you know, it really wants to swing kind of to the inside, right? It kind of wants to get underneath that red line. And what you do is when you swing it to the inside, then your hips look like they're sliding to the right. Looks like everything's kind of moving to the outside of the foot here. Check out that right foot. You can see how you're kind of leaning to the outside of it. So what happens here is the club head gets in, and then from here you can't really turn too much, so your body kind of slides to the right. And then from here you have to slide back to the ball, and that's kind of difficult because you're going to throw some angles, and that'll cause you to hit it fast. So what I want to do is reverse this. I want to get the club head a little bit more up in here. I'm going to show you how to get the club head a little bit more out in front of you. And then from there, the second thing is I'm going to show you how to turn a little bit better to the top. And I think those two things together will allow you to get the club head to bottom out more past the ball. So check this out. All right, Scott, thanks so much for the video. I've got two things for you that I think is going to really help get that divot ahead of the ball. Here's the first one here. Now, I've got this stick in the ground pretty close here to the same angle as this shaft, just as a reference point. And it gives you a good visual of how the club head wants to kind of get in here like this, right? So the club head is kind of tracking too far to the inside. And when we see that, that kind of leads a little bit to the hip swaying. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to get the club head working just a little bit more up and out in front of you like this. See how the club head's out there from my hands? You know, I don't want your hands going out there. Keep your left arm attached, but just let the club head kind of be out here a little bit. And then from here, now we can start to round it out. And I think that first move will really help the right hip. Now, let's come around here to the second thing. I've got another stick in the ground here right up against my right hip with no room in here for air. And of course, when you take it back, it's in here, and then you kind of recruit this way. You sway to the outside of the foot, and we don't want that. We want that right hip to turn back like that. And oftentimes it's difficult because if I take it inside and then I really turn, I get too much around me and flat. And that's no good either, because then we usually counter that by coming over the top. So we want to start it out here first, and then from there, let that right hip turn, and if anything, create a little space, right? Create a little space in here. See how my right hip, when I turn it, creates a little space, stays inside of that post. I think it's okay for you to feel like it kind of works that way just a little bit, and of course, we just don't want it going way to the outside. So I think it's 2 steps for you. One is start the club head a little bit more out here first, and then from there, turn that right hip and create a little space in here and get rid of that sway. And if you do those 2 things, it positions that club beautifully now to come down, the weight will shift, and I think you'll get the divot more out in front of the golf ball. I really appreciate you sending in the video. It's time to go to number 2 now. Show us your swing, and this one's Jason. Okay, Jason here. I think I can help you here. High slice, or that diving hook from time to time. The first thing here, I'm going to get your hands a little closer here. You see how you're getting some space in here between your left arm and your body. I'm going to move your hands in a little bit. Keep that left arm a little bit more snug. You've got a really good swing. You do a really good job of turning to the top. Love how right hips turn, left heel's coming up. And as you come down, you know, the shape of the swing, you know, to the eye, you know, looks nice. You can see you're rotated at impact and back around the other side. So lots of good stuff. I think we can improve the wrist angles here coming down. As you come down, I think you're kind of pulling on the handle just a little bit right here, and that shaft wants to kind of stand up a little bit. So what we need to do is I want to show you something here on this left wrist. I want to show you how to get this left hand to curl a little bit where it flattens out, but then also unhinges a little bit. And what that'll do is it'll get the club head to kind of go more back around you and put you in a position where the club face will want to be delivered a little bit more consistently to impact. And I think what happens here is as you pull that handle down like this, from time to time, it'll come in a little steep, the club face will stay open, you'll hit it right, but then you can also kind of get the face to kick in once in a while, maybe even hit it on the toe, and that's when you get the ball going hard to the left. So I want to show you here how this left hand coming down, how it flattens out, how it unhinges a little bit. That'll get the sweet spot in a better spot, and then from there I think you'll be in a better position to get that club face to square up more times than not. Here it comes. All right, Jason, thanks for sending the video in. I think I can help you get rid of that little high slice from time to time with the driver. So a lot of good things in your swing, particularly coming through impact. I want you to make sure from face on one thing, that when you set up, make sure you have just a little tilt in the spine to the right, and then maybe even just kind of turn your chest a little more to the right. I think you might be just a little too much this way. Now, from the target line view, let's go ahead and pan over here. I talked about the wrist angles at the top of the swing. When you take the club back, the first thing is let the hand stay a little bit closer to you, right? Don't let the hands kind of drift out here. That left arm kind of pinched in here, that little shirt to the chest, that's a good feeling. Keep that pressure point in here like that, and that'll keep the hands a little bit closer. Now, more importantly, when you get to the top and you start on the way down, I want this left hand, right? I want this left hand to start to curl like this, start to flatten out. See, I'm kind of pushing it out a little bit. I think you're kind of pulling on the handle a little bit. So when you pull on that handle, that left wrist stays a little too cupped or extended like this. So in transition, what I want you to feel is I want you to start feeling that start to curl this way. And when you look at the club face, look at that club face kind of start to close down like that, right? Kind of a la Justin Rhodes. You kind of see him doing that on the downswing rather than pulling it down like that. It stays cupped. So I really like that left hand in transition. You may feel the right elbow kind of pinch in towards the left when you do that, and that'll really prepare the club face, and I think turn that high slice into a little bit of a draw. So I overcooked that a little bit. That's okay. I think you need to kind of see that ball go out there and turn a little right to left. So I like that left hand for you, and I think that's good advice for so many who are struggling with that driver, that high slice off to the right. All right, time for this week's 18 Birdies app feature, and this week we talk about how you add friends to your account.
Hey guys, Randy from 18 Birdies here, and I want to show you how to add friends to your round. Once you start your round, you'll find yourself on the scoring page. This is where you can keep score, enter stats, and add friends to your round. To add friends, tap the Add Link Player button to bring up your friends list. If you haven't added any friends on 18 Birdies yet, you have a few options for adding them. First, you can tap Select from Contacts, then link your contact book to 18 Birdies to find your friends that are already on the app, or invite friends that aren't here yet. You can also manually search for friends that are 18 Birdies users by tapping Select from 18 Birdies users. Lastly, you can add a guest player and send them a text or email to claim their account and join your round.
Golf is fun, but you gotta have friends to share those experiences with on the golf course, and the 18 Birdies app makes it super easy to add those friends to your account. Hey, Just.
Dude, you just deleted my friend request.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Let's move on to 14 strong, and this week we're talking about the driver. And the driver, of course, who doesn't want more speed? I want more speed. I'm not happy with that 105, 106 club head speed. So this week in 14 strong, we're gonna talk club head speed and we're gonna talk attack angle. So first, as we get to club head speed, I went to one of the leaders in today's game, Super Speed Golf. They're training club head speed at an incredible rate right now on the PGA Tour, the LPGA Tour, and amateurs just like you. Check it out. All right, we're back here on the Stripe Show. Travis Fulton, I've got two very special guests here. Mike Napoleon, good to see you, my friend, and Kyle Shea. We go way back, these three, back to the World Golf Village days, back in 2003 and 04. And you guys are doing great. Congratulations. I know you guys started this company, Super Speed Golf. Who doesn't want more speed? And no one is training club head speed better than these guys right now. And I know you got 3 clubs there in a very specific training program. Tell us about it.
I do, Travis. I think in more than that is very few people in the golf world have trained speed at all. Like, we've seen this type of training in other sports for a long time. You know, track and field athletes, Major League Baseball players, they've been using something called overload underload training to help get more speed in almost a neurological training system. So it's not fitness directly, it's not mechanics coaching, it's speed training.
Okay.
What we've done is we've taken a lot of that great science and we've adapted it for the golf swing to help golfers hit the ball further than ever, and it's just been a lot of fun, and everybody wants to hit it further.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I heard a number, not from you guys, but from some people out there on tour. We're talking like in the 500 range right now on tour, okay? The professionals utilizing this system, and if I'm not fully mistaken, did I not see some stuff that Phil Mickelson was doing, using the ground? It was, I think it looked like one of these clubs, is that right?
It was. He actually just won.
Yes.
And he was using it on the range on Sunday before his big win. So that was pretty good to see Phil at 47 now, starting to gain some more speed when guys are starting to lose speed.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, I need some speed, right? I just turned 40. So I need to get this thing moving. So I'm your guinea pig today. You ready?
All right, sounds good. It's gonna be fun. This is gonna be intense.
Oh, that's funny. I'm ready. I'm fired up. Let's do this. Okay.
So the first thing I want to do now that we're going to get you some more speed, let's see where you are to start. So we got a TrackMan out here. Let's get a little data and just see what your club speed is to start.
All right, I'm going to swing as hard as I can. That might have been a touch faster.
Yeah, a little better. A little better, 107 on that one.
107.
Very good.
Okay.
I think that's enough.
I got to take a break anyway. So.
Yeah, well, you're going to be a little more tired after this, so here we go. All right, so Travis, we're going to go through the training now. We're going to do our introduction protocol. So this is what you're going to do when you're starting super speed golf for about the first month.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and put your driver away.
Okay.
I want to show you what we're going to work on here. I've got 2 of our little swing speed radars here. Now, these things are really cool. They're simple, but they can measure how fast a club moves without having to hit a ball. So even, we got your data on TrackMan, but without hitting a ball, we can't get that data. So these are going to be good during the training.
Okay.
Now, you always want to be warmed up before you do this. Just to let everybody know out there, always make sure that you're loose before you do this. This is not just a warm-up program, because you're going to see it's going to be pretty intense. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold these clubs and we're going to go through this. I'm going to give you this green one first. So that's our lightest one in the set. What I want you to do is just from your normal golf stance, I want you to make 3 golf swings in front of that radar, and I want you to see how high you can make that number.
Just right here in front, about a few inches.
And you're not going to hit the ground with the club, maybe 6 to 8 inches off the ground, right in front. All right, what'd you get there?
107.
All right, I think that was wimpy. Let's let it rip. All right, that was a little better, 118.
118?
Now, I want to see you at least, where you were starting in that 104, 105 range, you know, before the training, I should see this at least at 120.
Okay.
So you need to stop babying it.
Loosen up here a little bit.
All right, there we go. 122, good. Now,
No, I've never hit that number.
absolutely.
Okay.
Well, that club's about 20% lighter than your driver.
Okay.
So that's the whole magic of this training, is because that club's lighter, your body's able to move faster than normal during your golf swing. Okay, Travis, so now we're going to turn around and we're going to swing these left-handed.
Okay.
Remember to switch your grip. And then I just want you to do the same thing. I just want you to make an athletic swing. Don't worry about form and details. I want you to make that club move as fast as you can in front of that radar. Let's see what we get.
All right, no guarantees here.
Yeah, not bad. Over 100.
Wow.
Keep it going. Let's
103.
see if we can push that up there a little bit. Really good. Really good. 112 there. You can almost get there. Now sometimes, you know, for you guys watching at home, the first time you do this, you might not
116.
get that close your first time,
Yeah.
but that's really good. What I would say is this: most of our players on the PGA Tour and long drive professionals are actually within a mile an hour of the same speed on
Wow.
the dominant and non-dominant side once they've been doing this training, even for about a month.
That's
So
fascinating.
that's pretty good, though, to get, you got up to 116 there the first time there. Now,
Okay.
what we got to do, in order to make this permanent, we can't just do it with this super light club. We got to actually increase the load a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you this blue club that's 10% lighter than your driver. So
All
we're
right.
going to add a little bit. What I want you to do now on your dominant side,
Okay.
so right-handed, I want you to see if you can keep this over 120 with every swing.
Okay.
And on these swings specifically, I don't want you to worry about them being so pretty.
Okay.
You know, I can tell you're
Yeah.
a golf coach.
Yeah.
You love the way
Yeah.
this golf swing looks. I want you to make it athletic, and
Okay.
I want that club to move fast.
Got to break through this barrier, right?
Exactly.
This internal governor that I have and that we all have, right? And just let it go. All right, here we go. Got the little heavier one. Not so pretty, right? Not gonna be so pretty. I'm gonna let it go.
Continue to make that number go up. Pretty good.
122.
Right there. So that was equal to the
Yep.
last one. Let's get more. I still think it's too pretty. Don't I?
121.
It's like
That
follow-
governor's strong.
Beautiful follow through.
That governor's strong. All right, here we go. Into the. I got to get over here. Here we go.
Fastest swing of your life right here. Excellent. Really good. Really good.
127. No idea where it would go, but it would be 127. So that's what we want, right?
That's what we want. We
Okay.
want to see that number going up. And
Okay.
what's really interesting about what you just said there, on average, we find that as players get more athletic and start sequencing better and the biomechanics become better by using this system, the ball actually starts going
Yeah.
straighter too.
But it's almost kind of a reverse psychology, right? Like I feel like I'm almost a little out of control, but as a result, I'm recruiting properly. The sequencing gets better, and all those things kind of help line the face up too.
Right. Well, I mean, you've been coaching golf for a
Yeah.
long time, right? How many times have you had a student, it's so much easier for them to do something in a practice swing than it is when they're actually hitting the ball,
Right.
It's just because we're more connected to all the mechanics when we have a goal of hitting the ball down the fairway. So this allows you to break through those barriers by getting out of your own way, and then we can start to apply it back to your regular golf swing.
All right, here we go. Heaviest one, 3-step drills. Finish strong here.
I can tell it's getting tired, guys.
That one didn't count.
That one didn't count.
103.
We'll count
Okay.
that as the first, but I want two more that are way over 110. Let's see it. Yes, 110. Good.
Okay.
One more. Oh, awesome.
120. Lefty. 122.
Really good.
Lefty. Man, it's amazing. The first one, I'm, you know, like, and that's something that I would anticipate I would get better and better at.
Absolutely.
As I work
Again,
on
it's
this.
your first time. But
Yeah.
You're going right back into the years of all the things you've been thinking about doing with your
Yeah.
golf swing,
Yeah.
and you forget to be athletic. And then all of a sudden you see that number and you don't like it, and you're like, oh, I remember how I did that before, and then you go right back to being an athlete
Yep.
and get that speed.
It's interesting, yeah, and that's a big part of breaking through this, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's let it rip.
Breaking through the governor. Gonna let this one go.
All right. How do you think that was? Did that feel faster than normal?
12.
Okay. We actually got 115 on that one.
115.
All right. So again, that
Wow.
went, you had a 104,
Yeah.
a 107 warming up. That 107 was your fastest, 104 was your slowest.
Yeah.
And then that first one out of the gate's already at 115.
115. Great stuff in super speed golf. I love these sticks. They're doing a terrific job. You heard it, over 500 players on tour, and they're making a big impact in the amateur game as well. It's great. You can do it away from home and train how to get more club head speed. So that's going to help, right? Club head speed can transfer to more ball speed if we catch it more in the center of the face. And of course, if we can hit it solid, the ball speed goes up. Now we really have something. And one of the things that really helps catch it more in the center of the face is attack angle. And I want to talk about attack angle a little bit right now. Attack angle is measuring the club head in relationship to the ground. I could come into this ball and catch it level. That would be 0 on TrackMan, right? TrackMan's measuring that. So 0 would be a level strike relative to the ground. Now, if I was hitting down on it, that'd be a negative number, right? -1, 2, 3, see it up to 4, 5, 6, which would be very steep. When we're hitting down on it with a driver, that's not conducive to what we're trying to do downrange as far as distance. So what we want to do is, for so many of you, we want to come in, catch it level, or maybe slightly on the way up, a positive number, say +1, +2, +3. We see players in the PGA Tour, Justin Thomas, right? Dustin Johnson, +4, +5. So they're hitting up on it, right? And that's very much a part of the modern game. So how do we do that, right? Perhaps right now, you're a little too steep. What's causing steepness? Well, I think one of the things that I want to share with you is spine angle. You've heard me talk a lot about left bend, right bend, forward bend, back bend, like that, right? The 4 things that your spine can do. And so many of you, as you come down into impact, your spine is too much to the left. It's in too much left bend. It's in too much forward bend. Right? And look what that's going to do to the club head here. It's going to come down too steep like that. Now I'm exaggerating, but that gives you the idea. The opposite of that would be to be a little more right bend, to be in a little bit more back bend. You hear me talk about like that. You hear me talk a lot about how the spine goes this way, or extension back, right? That's what your spine should be doing through the strike. Look at the difference in my body. You can see how my left shoulder really works up and around rather than the other way, left bend and forward bend, how much lower it is. And that left shoulder working up and around is gonna really help shallow out that attack angle. So that's the first thing, your spine, right bend, and extending in the back bend as we swing through, and that's a great way to feel spine angle. A good drill for that is what we call low to high. If you just take your setup, put the club down on the ground like this, low, and then drag it up to high. Low, drag it up to high, and you get the feeling of right bend and back bend. That's going to help shallow out that attacking. The second thing, let's go to the target line here, is this left wrist condition. You hear me talk about this a lot. So many of you have that left wrist cupped coming down. Look what that does to the shaft. It starts to steepen it. You counter that left wrist with the spine, now you're really going to be steep. So that left wrist, make sure that we start to shallow or to flatten that out. Right? See this left wrist? It's flattening out. That's going to help the club start to lay down a little bit. Also, that right elbow pinching the left. Really like those two. Right elbow pinching the left, left wrist starting to flatten out. I'm going to exaggerate that. Watch this club. Starts to go more horizontal versus boom. Look at that. Cupped, elbows apart, shaft starts to steepen. So we can feel the right elbow. We can feel the left wrist. Right? Just like that. And then we can take that with a little bit of right bend and a little bit of extension through the strike. Counter that with a tee height where the ball is going to be about a half a ball above the face. And wow, we're set up for success here. We got more club head speed, and now we're going to shallow out that attack end. Come on, Tom, come in here. Look at the tee. I took that right off the tee. I hit up on that a little bit. My attack angle is about +1 or 2. So if you can shallow out the attack angle and you can make it positive, what is that going to mean to you in the way of distance? Well, check out this chart. Here's the TrackMan driver fitting chart, carry optimizer, and this is a really neat chart to give you a feel for what attack angle can do for you. Now, on the left is club head speed, starting at 75, going to 95. At the end of the show, I'll share with you the chart that goes from 100 to 120. The second line, attack angle, right here, that's the number that we want to concern her with. You can see each one, -5, 0, +5. -5 is down, you're hitting down on it. 0 is level, +5 you would be hitting on the way up. Now let's come down here to 90 miles an hour. -5, 0, +5. And we're going to come over here to the carry number and look at the difference here. -5, the top line, carrying it 191 yards. 0, 203, +5, 214. So all things being equal, if you went from -5 and you went up to +5, which would be a huge change, but it gives you the idea, that's 23 yards in distance. So as people are hitting down, their attack angle is too steep, which is a lot of you, and you start to shallow out that attack angle, it starts to open up the opportunity for more distance, and it also helps hit more in the center of the face, which can really do wonders for your ball speed. And we know as that ball speed increases, now you're really maximizing all of that club head speed. The energy transfer is really good. Now, the final thing here as a rule of thumb is as you hit down and you come over here to this number here, the launch angle, you can see how -5, you'd be launching at 11, +5, 16. So as you hit up, you can launch the golf ball higher, and as you launch it higher, this next one here, you have the opportunity to spin it less. So you can see that top number, 3,689. That's a lot of spin. And the bottom there, 2,633. So the premise is you want to launch it as high as you can with little spin. And the key to doing that is back to this attack angle, learning how to get the attack angle to shallow it out. I really like this driver fitting chart, as it gives you a good idea of what a good attack angle can do for you in the way of distance. How about that? Increases in distance, 12 to 15 yards on average, just by shallowing out the attack angle. Some of you right now, -1, -2, -3. You start to shallow that out, 0, +1, +2. You're going to see big increases. I've seen it all the way up to 20 yards. Not improving club head speed, just shallowing out the attack angle. It's an important number. TrackMan has taught us a lot about it, so pay attention to that attack angle number.
Thanks, Travis.
You're welcome, Justin. Look at these guys back here getting free lessons and just picked up, I think, Justin, 12 to 15 yards. All right, let's get back to the swings here. Our next show us your swing. This one comes from Danny. Hey, Danny, Travis here. Read your notes. Pretty consistent with the irons, and then you said you start slicing it about 3-wood driver, and I want to show you why that is here. So watch this here. A lot of good things that address, it looks like. I'm going to show you one thing from face on that I want you to make sure you're doing. But as you take it back here, good first move, club face, nice and square. I love your wrist angle. See the left wrist there, nice and flat. Love how the right elbow is pinching the left, well done. So you've prepared the club face nicely, even though we can't see it here. I'm betting that club face looks very good. And with the short irons, as you come down a little bit over the top, you do a nice job of squaring up the club face. But I think your path is from the outside. So what we need to do is in order to hit the 3-wood and the driver better, I need to show you how to get this club shaft to get more back in here like this, and not so vertical. So I'm going to show you where I want your left arm to be coming down. Okay, instead of out in front of you here, I'm going to get your left arm a little bit deeper behind you, and then I'm going to get this club shaft to kind of lay a little bit more back in here. Now that's a little exaggeration with the lines, but you get the idea. And as a result, We're going to get your path swinging a little bit more from the inside, and I think when you do that, you'll probably hit a nice little draw through the bag. Here it comes. Danny, thanks for the video. How about that? Danny from England, stripe heads growing worldwide. I love it. All right, let's help your swing. One thing, as I mentioned in the video, I want you to make sure you're doing here with the driver, and I say this a lot here on the Stripe Show, without forward ball position, it's important that we don't face it, right? Think about it, the ball's way up there, right? I could easily face that forward ball position, gets me aiming too far to the left. So get in there, little side bend to the right, and then turn your chest more back here. I think so many need to feel like they're a little closed, and Danny, I think that will help you, in particularly now as we go to the target line here, as we start to change that swing direction. So let's talk about swing direction. We get that number from TrackMan here. So look at this white stick here. That's my target line. Of course, we set up there to the target line. And then I've got another club here on the ground that right now is pointing down the target line. Let's say I was to take a swing and I was just to kind of abide by both of those sticks. Look, this club comes down parallel into impact and then parallel over here on the other side. That would be a 0 swing direction, right? I'm swinging the club, let's say, pretty much down the target line. Now, in your swing direction is probably coming across like that, right? The target line is the same, but as you come down with the driver, your swing direction's a little too much out here and then across. That would be a negative number. And what's happening, you're getting away with that with your irons a little bit because you have a good club face angle. You do a nice job here with the club face. Your left wrist is flat at the top. That club face looks good, so you probably hit a lot of solid shots. But as the club gets longer, we've got to start moving the swing direction back this way. Okay, we've got to get that swing direction coming more from the inside. Now I'm exaggerating here a little bit. Let me just angle it like this. Okay, I'm exaggerating maybe here just a little bit. But as we come down, this is a good visual for you, right? Look at the club now. Now it's matching this stick here to the inside. And now if I kept going down that stick, it would feel like I'm swinging more out that way, right? So that'd be a little more in to out or a swing direction that's going to the right, all right? So I like that for you with the driver. Set this club down right here. Get in there at address, get tilted and close. Maybe even hit somewhere you kind of get yourself going this way to help encourage more of that right swing direction because you're going to need that as the club gets longer. So here we go. I'm actually going to close just a little bit. And then there we go. I felt that club kind of drop in here, swing a little bit more out there, and that ball started to the right and drew back to the left. So swing direction is a key term for you. I hope that helps you with the driver. And thank you for sending that video in all the way from England. Speaking of stripe heads, we've got one more Show Us Your Swing, and this is Benjamin. All right, hey Benjamin, Travis here. Thanks for sending the video in. I think I can help you here. First thing is we're gonna get your feet wider, and I'm gonna make sure your head is behind the ball. And as we do that, I'm probably gonna back you up just a little bit from the golf ball as well, and just kind of get more room in there at address. So we'll get feet wider, we'll back up a bit, and then we'll make sure that the head's behind it. And that's gonna make a big difference when you go to hit the golf ball here. Now, when you take it back, look at here. You can see right hip is turned, arms in hand, swinging back, nice 3/4 backswing. And then when you come down, it looks like maybe a little towards the hosel. I think the club face probably staying open more times than not. And I think what we'll do to help that here is when we get up to the top here, see this left wrist right here? This lead wrist, what we're going to do is we're going to take that cup out, right? See that cup in there? We're going to flatten that left wrist. We're going to bend the right wrist back, and that'll get the club face in a better position. It'll get the club shaft in a better position, and I think that countered with the setup adjustments will get you well on your way to hitting more in the center of the face. Here it comes. Benjamin, if you're going to hit balls in your socks, well, I'm going to hit balls in my socks here on the Stripe Show. Hey, I think I can help you with your golf swing, but a lot of this is really in the setup position. The first thing is when you set up in your socks there, your feet are very close together. I want you to get wider here, all right? So we're going to get wider in the feet. And then from there, I want you to back up from the ball just a little bit. You're a little too close. Your hands are very tight, all right? So we're going to get a little further from it. So we bow forward, and then watch my spine, a little bit of side bend to the right, okay? And you can put that in order. Get in there where you feel comfortable. Go wider in the feet. Back it up, and then side bend to the right like that. I like that setup for you. Now, in the swing, your left wrist right now is cupped, right? If you put your left hand out like this, cup it, bow it. Cup it, bow it. Now, what does that influence? I take it up to the top, cupped. Look at the club face. See how it's kind of toe down, almost pointing over there, right? If I brought that down to impact, let's go back to face on here. Look at that club face. It's open, and I think that countered with your setup a little bit. You can catch it in on the hosel, okay? So what we need to do is we're going to go up to the top, and you're going to feel like it's more bowed. Now look at the club face, looking more up to the sky. Boom. Now it's going to be more square. I think you'll catch it more in the center of the face with those setup adjustments. So here we go. In order, feet wider, we back it up, a little bit of side bend, rehearse that bow. Look at that club face looking to the sky. And then take me to that nice balanced finish that you showed me in your swing. And I think that's going to feel a whole lot better on the center of the face. I kind of like this, hitting balls in my socks out there. You may have started something here, Benjamin, on the Stripe Show. Thanks very much for sending your video. Time for some Q&A in the mailbag, but I need 2 seconds to put my shoes back on. All right, let's keep it rolling here on the Stripe Show.
Mailbag.
That's right, a favorite to many of you Stripe heads out here. What do we got, Justin?
All right, first question is coming from the 18Birdies app. Golf Girl 505. I hit it off the heel when I'm driving. Any suggestions?
When you're driving, right? Okay, so we've got the driver on the heel, right? Heel's in here, center, and the toe. Let me show you something here. Come around here, Tom. We're going to zoom in here tight. Watch this. Got a teed high. We know we don't want to hit the ground with the driver. I'm going to set it right in the middle of the face. Now, when I come into impact, if it's off the ground, look it goes to the heel. How about that, right? So what we want to do maybe is address it just a little bit more towards the toe. So when we come into impact off the ground, it goes more towards the center of the face. That's the first place that I would look. Now, the second thing is chances are when we set up here and we swing down into impact, we might be moving closer to the ball, right? I see so many times the hips will come in, we'll kind of stand up, the weight will get onto the toes, and then we have to manufacture it and we catch it in towards the heel. So what I want you to do is I want you to set up slightly towards the toe. I want you to feel like your weight's just a little bit kind of heel to the ball of the foot. Don't get out here at address on the toe. And then from there, when you turn, feel like you're into your right heel. And then when you swing down, feel like you're a little more on the instep. See my right foot here, Tom? Kind of rolling in here on the instep. Don't get going this way onto the toes. If you stay on the instep, your hips will stay back better, and then you can turn and get the club to swing back around and catch it more in the center of the face. So here we go. We're going to set up. Might even scoot in just a little bit closer. Push the weight back. Favoring slightly towards the toe. And then I'm going to feel a little more through the instep. Yep, and there it is, right in the center of the face. Great question, and I hope that helps you. Question number 2.
All right. This one's a doozy.
Okay.
Comes from your Instagram, @TravisFultonGolf. It is, I saw this on your Insta. For a big guy, you don't seem to hit the ball that far. What's the deal?
What? I saw that, right? Called me. You don't seem to hit it very far. Do you have that guy's name?
I can hack his account.
Okay, we're going to figure out what his name is after the show. Next question.
All right. We got... This one comes from your email.
Okay.
I take lessons. What kind of notes should I take?
Okay, good question. Yeah, I saw this, right? Came across my email. I take lessons. What kind of notes should I take? And here's my answer to that. Discovery. That is a key word. You hear me talking a lot about that here on the Stripe Show and in my social media. You have to self-discover what it means to you. The teacher is providing framework. The teacher is providing context. And many times is talking in his language and preparing things for you to self-discover, right? So I might say to you, hey, your left hand is going to feel like this, but as you do that, you may feel something different. But as long as you're arriving to the same points, that self-discovery is key. Those are the notes you should take. What is 1, what is 2, what is 3? Write those 3 things down in your language, your self-discovery, and I think you will get better traction from that. Number 4.
All right, last question. This one also comes from the 18Birdies app. Mark Allegier, he is struggling with consistency on his low punch shots when they're coming out of the trees.
Out of the trees?
Out of the trees.
What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
Gonna grab my 4-iron. It's a good club to punch out with. 3-iron, 5-iron, also good. Keep it nice and low out of the trees. And we hit it from the trees from time to time, right? You don't always hit it in the fairway, do you, Justin?
No. I'm in the trees 90% of the time.
90% of the time. Maybe some of you 90%, 80%, 70%. Tour players hit it in the trees, and we've got to learn how to hit a punch shot. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come right up here, Tom, and I'm going to put a ball down. This looks like a good spot right here in the trees here. And check this out. Look at all these beautiful trees. And I think I see a little bit of a window there. Then I'm going to try to de-loft the face and hit this nice low shot through those trees. So how do we do that, right? Well, the first thing is I'm going to grip down just a little bit. I'm going to take kind of a 3/4 type of swing. I'm going to grip down slightly. I'm going to make sure my grip is kind of over here to the right, because I'm going to play the ball position a little back in the stance, right? So you can see how I've got the ball position a little back of center. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean a little bit into the lead foot. See how I'm doing that there? So I'm going to go ahead and kind of lean a little bit into the lead foot. And as I'm doing that, I'm kind of sensing some footage here. There's some issues here. So what I need to do is make sure that I've got the right footing as I get the ball position a little back in the stance. I'm going to kind of brace my right foot a little bit through the instep. And of course, you can move all this debris as long as it's not connected to anything and you don't move the ball. So I'm gripping down slightly, ball back in the stance, kind of leaning a little bit into the lead foot, more pressure over here. And then what I'm going to do here with the swing is I'm going to take kind of a 3/4 type of backswing, but I'm going to stay left, right? Don't be moving over here. So I'm going to kind of stay left, and then as I come down, I'm going to kind of really lean the shaft forward like this, de-lofting that face, turning the chest through into this nice abbreviated finish. So you can see it's about a 3/4 type of swing. So one more time here, grip down. I'm going to play the ball back in the stance, got my footing here. I'm leaning a little bit into the lead foot. And then from there, kind of a 3/4 swing, de-lofting the face, cutting it off. All right, let's give it a go. Tom, we got to show him if I can pull this off. We ready? Got that little window right there. Get everything in line. Get through there. Oh yeah! Right through those trees. Punch shot. Back out into the fairway. That's how you do it. Time for another 60-second swing fix on the driver so you don't hit in the trees anymore. All right, time for 60-second swing fix. We've been talking about the driver all day. Here we go. I got 60 seconds. Let's do this. We talk about the setup position. I say overcome the forward ball position so many times. What does that mean? Well, we get the driver, we play the ball forward off the left heel, right? And then we take a big step. The more that ball goes forward, the more I see a lot of players doing this. They face it like this. Think about that. If the ball was in the middle of my stance, it's easy for me to be square to it. But I start going forward. What do? I start turning this way, and now my spine's to the left and my shoulders are too far off to the left-hand side. So what we need to do, for so many of you, get the ball forward, big step, keep your hands in line, but then feel like this, a little bit of side bend to the right, and I oftentimes will turn the chest more back here. I like this setup for the driver. For so many of you, it sets you up for success. You may feel like you're aiming off to the right a little bit, but that's okay. It'll help you shallow out the attack angle and hit it from the inside. I hope you enjoyed the Stripe Show this week here with Travis Fulton about the driver. Our friends at Super Speed Golf, all of the people that send in videos. And you remember when I was talking about the attack angle and I showed you that chart of club head speed and how attack angle can change those distances? I promised you a second chart
for those big hitters, 100 miles an hour all the way up to 120, here's what attack angle can mean for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.